Wrestling. This is True Victory. We're here with the Professor, Ken Pernicus.
Yeah, Keith, that's right. We'll be real. We'll keep it true. Let me just take off my hat. My real name is the professor thing is real. I am a professor, but my real name is Ken Peters. So you can just call me Ken for this segment. We'll go from there.
Wow, we are going to keep it real. Well, a pleasure then, sir. Right. Okay. So what drew you to wrestling?
Well, what drew me to wrestling was like anybody else. You grow up watching and you see, like, holy cow, look at these guys. They're like real. The closest thing you can get in real life superhero, right? I mean, they take horrendous beatings and they get back up like it was nothing, or maybe it was nothing, and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, this is beyond phenomenal. And then, earliest memory of wrestling, I have two. One isn't so much about the wrestling itself. I remember my dad going down on Central Avenue in Lancaster to get to the cable place, to get the cable box so we could watch SummerSlam 1992, Bulldog Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title. That and Shawn Michaels stole Mari Janae through the barbershop window are my earliest memories I ever actually saw, not learned about later. So those were the things that kind of drew me in.
Well, I do remember the Shawn Michaels barbershop window thing. There are a few. When I was a kid, I was real into wrestling, but there are a few things that I remember vividly, and that is one that was just like...
Yeah, because it was like...
Never seen anything like it.
No, it was crazy.
Yeah, I know, it absolutely was. So you have any, outside of the wrestling world here, you have family?
Yeah, I have one brother. My parents are still with me. My brother, one set of grandparents is still alive. The other my grandfather just passed recently. My father's there. And my father's mother passed about 3 years ago. But other than that, they both my grandparents all of them got to see me perform in different venues. My grandfather got to see me wrestle before he passed, and my grandmother got to see me doing comedy before she passed. So I'm pretty sure they got to enjoy it on Earth too, and seeing that I could succeed in things.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. You already you actually asked a couple of questions I had for you. You kind of went right ahead and went into them, which makes it a lot easier for me. Is your family? Is the rest of your family supportive of this?
Oh yeah, they think it's great. I mean, I'm not taking huge, horrendous bumps or anything in there, so they're not that worried. And even if I was, they understand this is my dream. This is some guys. No disrespect to these guys, but you got guys like Brock Lesnar who kind of come to this thing late, and again, no disrespect to the man, but like, it wasn't his dream. And I think, when it's you got somebody out there, like Jack Phoenix, for instance, who was his dream, and now he made his dream come true. It's the same thing for me, it's a bigger deal, and people understand it more once you dream,
Mm-hmm.
And they'll let you do things maybe that aren't the smartest for your body, or so you can achieve your dream.
Oh, fantastic. What else do we got to ask you here? You made this the easiest interview I think I've ever done, because you roll one question right into another.
Well, I'll tell you, maybe I shouldn't have thrown the hat down over there, because that's a handmade hat. It's thank you very much. This is I actually bought this. This, some of you may know, great TV show back in the day, the 70s. Kolchak the Night Stalker. Darren McGavin, the father from Christmas Story, plays a reporter who hunts all kinds of monsters and ghosts in Chicago, and this hat is modeled on his hat. So,
wow.
I love the hat, and having a gigantic head like I do, I'm like, well, I guess I have to have it custom made. The only person, this famous hat maker, Barons of Hollywood, they have a list of famous people they made hats for. My head size is, the only person with a bigger head is Richard Kyle, the man who played Jaws in the James Bond movies, and he had acromegaly, so I have a gigantic head.
I guess so. All right, that's fair enough. What would you say is I don't know, man.
Let's see. Well, hey, here's a question people ask all the time. How'd I get in, right? How'd you get in? I got in. I was trained by a man named Royce Daniels. He actually, oddly enough, went to school with Jack Phoenix. So they have a similar style, and I was taught respect for the business, and I learned to take my bumps like everybody else, and maybe I don't take as many or as fancy, but I still can take them. And we learn how to respect the business. And I got to work with no, I haven't worked with any huge superstars yet, but I got to work with Nate Matson and the Righteous Maker Rick Baker, two guys who kind of indie legend. Nate Matson is an indie legend for sure, and Rick Baker, you may know him as D-Ray 3000 from TNA, got the big afro. Oddly enough, he doesn't have it anymore. He totally changed up. That was really cool, and I kind of I kind of marked out because I saw them and I realized who they were. I'm like, oh my god, it's Nate Matson, and it's God, it's D-Ray 3000, and I was like, and some of the other guys were like, stop being such a mark. I'm like, sorry, I'm gonna be a mark because these guys are awesome, and they're really nice guys too. On top of it, and of course, we work with the Big Bear himself. He's a pretty well-known guy. He's been on Raw a lot more than he hasn't been on there. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. What is your goal in wrestling? What do you want to accomplish?
I just want to have a good time, really, and I want to just, I want to be part of a successful company. Keep managing champions, maybe, if I can get in better shape, maybe step in the ring myself. Nothing, I don't expect to become some amazing athlete or anything, but I think I could hold my own. But I'm pretty happy just doing the manager thing. And, I just love the being in there and planning with my guys. Like, the whole idea of a manager is you got two parts of a great wrestler. You got a guy who can wrestle, and is really athletic and in shape, but he can't talk. Then you take a guy like me, who's not in great shape, but he can talk, and you put them together, and you make, from two halves, you make one whole wrestler. So that's basically what a manager is you make one whole wrestler out of two parts. So, and that's fine with me. I'll do all the talking I need to.
Fair enough. What is your legacy when you're all done with the wrestling business?
My legacy in the wrestling business is just a guy who showed up and, he did his job, and he maybe helped bring actual wrestling back, Nothing against the WWE or any of them guys, because they're great performers. They do, they're really, they're in the ring, they do dangerous stuff, and they do entertain. But like, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to bring wrestling back, and that's what I want. I want to be maybe like for a brief shiny moment, I'd be a part of a promotion that is a wrestling promotion, not a sports entertainment promotion. That's what I hope my legacy is. That I was at the start of a company that brought wrestling back, even if it's only for a little bit.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, you did say wrestler, not sports entertainer in there, which
Wrestler.
does lead me to the lightning round here.
All right.
I'm going to ask you 10 questions. It's going to be one or the other. You just tell me which one is the first one that comes to your head, and we won't have to get into why. We'll go that way. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Raw or Nitro?
Ooh, both are good. Can't say either one was
Okay. Opening match or main event?
main event.
ECW or Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor, but only like from 2006 to like 2010.
Okay. Traditional pay-per-view or the network?
I gotta go with the traditional pay-per-view just because it's, number one, it's special. It's a big deal. Like, you just can't go on your computer and be like, oh, I can watch everything ever. And also because the way the pay works, the guys get screwed out of pay now with the network. So
Okay.
I know I wasn't supposed to explain, but
No, that's okay.
but
That's
that
all right.
one needed an explanation.
Okay. Pinfall or submission?
You gotta love a submission.
Okay. Cage match or ladder match?
Ooh, Cage.
Cage match. Championships or fame?
Fame.
Xbox Live or Life of the Party?
Depends what night.
All right. Wrestler or sports entertainer?
Wrestler.
Yeah, we already went that one. Work or shoot?
Work. What you can do. I hate to do it again, but I'm going to do it.
It's all right. Go ahead.
Look at a guy like Kazuchika Shibata. Awesome wrestler in New Japan, but insists upon doing shoot headbutts. He does one, gets a subdural hematoma. Not say I love the guy. He's one of my favorite New Japan wrestlers, but now he might never wrestle again. Then you look at Jack Gallagher. Does a perfectly great worked headbutt. Looks better than the shoot headbutt. Why would you ever shoot? If if you can get away working it.
Fair enough. And then the last question, which is not a one or the other, but who is the greatest wrestler of all time?
Oh God, you can name them, Ric Flair, Hogan, those guys, right? But I think the guy, I'll go with an underappreciated guy, Terry Funk, because there was a guy. He started out as the babyface NWA champion, went to the dirty, nasty Texas heel. Then he went hardcore. Then he went crazy. Then he went hardcore. And he's retired. The only guy I've known who's retired and come back more times than he actually probably done anything else in his life. And he just the epitome of a wrestler. When you look at him, he looks like a wrestler. You believe him, even at 70 whatever, that he could kick your ass and he's gonna brand you with an iron. And that's why Terry Funk is my pick.
That's a good pick and a good explanation of why. Ken, you made it easier than I ever thought it could
Awesome.
be. So
Nice
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure was mine.
You have
All
a
right.
good one.
You too. Back to you.